In this life, perhaps the question, "Who do I love the most?" seems like a simple question, but actually confuses many people. Everyone thinks they already know the answer, that it is parents, spouse, children, friends, or someone special in their life. But if you listen to your heart and look deeply into yourself, is that answer truly complete? Or is it just a beautiful facade covering another truth silently existing inside? The story of King Pasenadi and Queen Malika is a true reflection of human emotions. When the king asked the queen, "Who do you love the most in this world?" the queen, after a moment of hesitation, answered that the person she loved the most was herself. This answer confused the king, but in fact, it was an obvious truth that few dare to admit. Because if one does not cherish and love oneself, then all the love given to others is merely an extension of that self. The more we reflect, the more we realize that in every action, every choice, and every emotion, the ego is always at the center. We love others, care for others, but mostly because of the happiness, peace, or security they bring to ourselves. If one day the person we love turns their back, leaves, or betrays us, we immediately feel pain, resentment, and may even do things that hurt them. That love, in the end, is it loving the person or loving ourselves through that person? The Buddha once taught that beings in this world love themselves above all else. Even if they travel to the four corners of the earth, they cannot find anyone closer than their own self. However, there is an even deeper truth that few realize. We love the six senses: form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and mental objects, more than ourselves. The six senses are the objects of the senses. The eyes see beauty, the ears hear sounds, the nose smells fragrances, the tongue tastes flavors, the body feels contact, and the mind recognizes mental phenomena. Every day, every hour, we chase after these six senses, immersed in sensations, revolving endlessly through joy and sorrow, love and hate. People often think that loving themselves means caring for this body, ensuring it is well-nourished, prosperous, and safe. But this body is essentially a combination of earth, water, wind, and fire. And eventually it will break down. Nothing is permanent. Others think that loving themselves means loving the mind, but the mind is sometimes good, sometimes evil, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, always constantly changing. Nothing is fixed. Ultimately, we are just chasing external things, temporary feelings, mistakenly believing that these are ourselves, the true I. The sages and ancient Zen masters all remind us we forget ourselves because we are busy chasing after the six senses, exchanging our true self for fleeting illusions. In the Surangama Sutra, the Buddha teaches that when the eyes see forms without pursuing them, the ears hear sounds without attachment, the nose smells scents, the tongue tastes flavors, the body feels sensations, and the mind conditions phenomena without entanglement, that is close to nirvana. Conversely, if we keep chasing and clinging to the six senses, we are far from the truth and immersed in the cycle of birth and death. Tran Thai Tung of our Vietnam, after realizing this principle of the way, once wrote verses of repentance about the six senses and the six objects, reminding himself and future generations of the dangers of being immersed in fleeting sensations, forgetting one's true homeland. The eyes are caught by form, the ears by sound, the nose by scent, the tongue by taste. Like a traveler endlessly drifting in a foreign land, increasingly distant from the homeland, the very source of oneself. Zen teaches to turn inward and examine oneself, to look back at oneself and realize the true nature that neither arises nor ceases. At that moment, no matter how beautiful the scenery, how alluring the sounds, the fragrance, the taste, the strange sensations, or the changing thoughts, they are merely waves on the surface of the lake and cannot disturb the deep, still water beneath. Some people ask, is practicing spirituality like this selfish, only caring for oneself? In fact, when we find our true self and live peacefully and freely, we can share genuine peace, wisdom, and love with everyone. Because at that time, we no longer crave the six senses, no longer chase after the temporary and false, and no longer harm others for our own sake. At that time, Our love is no longer limited by a narrow ego, but spreads to all, without distinction or conditions. So, who do I love the most? If we look closely, we will see that all along we have loved the six senses the most, loved sensations, pleasures, and fleeting illusions. But when enlightened, when realizing the true nature that is neither born nor destroyed within ourselves, we then understand what true love is. It is not loving the temporary physical body, not loving the changing thoughts, nor chasing after the external six senses, but knowing how to turn inward, abiding in oneself, living fully with the true essence, and from there, opening the heart to love all beings. The question, who do I love the most, is therefore no longer a difficult question to answer. Because when you truly know how to love yourself, know how to live with your true self, that love will no longer discriminate, no longer have conditions, no longer be bound by any object. That is the love of an enlightened being, a vast love that encompasses the entire Dharma realm, free from attachment and suffering. Hopefully, each of us, no matter where we are or what we do, will have moments to pause, listen to the call from the depths of our hearts, realize who we are, who we truly love, and from there, find the true source of ourselves. Once found, please cherish, nurture, and spread that love to all beings, so that this life will forever be a symphony of love, wisdom, and true peace.